Why did you join Toastmasters?
Find girlfriend.
Find girlfriend. Getting away from your wife. For the food. See, like everybody has a reason why they join Toastmasters. Do you still remember the first time you walked into a Toastmasters club?
Yes.
Do you still remember your first meeting? I remember mine like it was yesterday. The year is 2009. A friend of mine, his name is Tariq. He said to me, Mohammed, I think Toastmasters is good for you. I think you should come and join a Toastmasters club. And I said, why? He said, Mohammed, I see something in you. I'll come with you. So we walk into this Toastmasters club and I have no idea what's going on. Speeches are done, and now they're doing something called table topics. Table topics. And one after another came in front of the stage and answering a question. And I had one question in my mind. Where is the table? I didn't sleep well the night before, so while I was sitting in the back of the hall, I was stretching while the table topic master was asking for volunteers. Yeah, you, huh? And I got invited to the front of the stage. He asked me a question. I don't even remember what the question is. And I spoke for 11 seconds. And I started sweating from places in my body I didn't even know existed. I was like, what the hell? Yes, life is not supposed to be easy. And always in your journey, the first step is not easy. And when you start something new, it's easy for you to say, this is way over my head. I should not even be here. And maybe it's time for you to quit. I had that thought in my mind. My first experience in public speaking sucked. And I thought to myself, maybe I should just quit. Or maybe I could just keep on trying. What do you guys think?
Keep on trying.
I can't hear you.
Keep on trying.
Well, the next meeting, my friend called me again and he said, come to the meeting again, please. I said, but I'm not going to speak. Fine, you're not going to speak, just come and attend. So I come to the meeting and I'm sitting in the back of the hall and there was only one speaker that day, but I do remember that speaker. He was standing there and he spoke for 5 minutes and everybody, including myself, paying attention. Nobody's playing with their phones. Nobody's dozing off. Nobody's side talking. Because that guy was able to captivate the audience. And I remember looking at him and thinking, I want to do that one day. I want to speak with people who actually pay attention. So I went to the VP of membership and I said, I would like to join the club. He gave me the form, I signed the form, and now I'm officially a member. They assigned me a mentor. My mentor at the time, his name is Malik. And when I joined, I was really excited and enthusiastic. So I said, Suleiman, I want to take a role in the next meeting. Give me anything. I want to jump in and do it big. He said, wow, I love your enthusiasm. How about being the Toastmaster of the day? Keep in mind, our talk was through emails. He sent me, how about being the TMOD? I didn't even know what that was. And I'm reading the email and I thought, wait, T-mode. T-mode. You know, that's a really cool name for a rapper. You know? Oh my God, they want me to rap. Finally, my long dreams coming true. I got so excited, ladies and gentlemen, I even made my own poster. Yes, that's my real body. So the next meeting comes. I took the stage. I'm ready to be Mr. T-Mode, you know? And I got on the stage. Come on, everybody, come on, give me a hand. Come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah. T-Mode in the house, yo. Yeah. I got shot on the stage by a hater. He was a hater. He wasn't even my evaluator. Slimman got up and he said, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing?" I'm being T-Mode, man. Ask questions. If you don't know, ask. Sometimes we think when we ask for help, for questions, we sound weak. We might sound ignorant. But actually, that's the only way that you can learn. Don't be ashamed to ask a question. We all lack something in terms of knowledge. So if you don't ask, you will never learn. My first role in Toastmaster, and I screwed it up. Should I quit or keep on trying? What do you guys think? I can't hear you.
Keep on trying.
Fine, I'll keep on trying. So after the meeting, I called Suleiman. I'm sorry about what happened earlier in the meeting. Man, don't worry about it. This is Toastmasters. We learn from practice and from trying. For the next meeting, how about you do something a bit different? Okay, what do you have? He said, how about being the joke master? What does it do? See, now I'm asking questions. He said, all you have to do is stand in front of the audience and tell a joke. 1 to 2 minutes long. I can do that, that's easy. So the next meeting comes. Toastmasters, they called me. I stand on the stage, I tell my joke, nobody laughs. Instead, everybody just dropped their jaws. I go sit down, the Toastmaster Day comes in. Thank you, Mr. Joke Master. I'd like to just remind you all that in Toastmaster we don't speak about sex, politics, or religion. And it's really bad when you include all 3 elements in one joke. I mean, that's just a bit too much. Know who you're dealing with. You see, in preparation for my Joke Master, I went online and I was watching a lot of stand-up comedy, and I thought I can use the same thing in Toastmasters. Doesn't work. Different environment requires different way of handling them. Different people requires different way of handling them. You cannot just assume that you can take one thing and it applies all over. A lot of my friends, they go to the bookstore and they buy the Steve Jobs book. And I ask them why. And they say, well, he was successful, so I'm going to do exactly what he did. But your life is not the same as Steve. You didn't go through the same thing as Steve. So you cannot just do what Steve did and assume it's going to work. My second role in Toastmasters, and I still screwed it up. Should I quit or keep trying? Fine, I'll keep on trying. I called Suleiman at the meeting. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. Yeah, that was, How about for the next meeting, we give you a role where you don't have to talk too much? All right, what do you have? How about being the timer? He explained the job to me. I know what to do. I go to the next meeting, and I set up as the timer. Now, the first speaker was really good. His speech was so captivating, I kept looking at him, and I forgot about the time. And toward the end of his speech, he was looking at me because he wanted me to give the signal. And I'm thinking, my God, this guy has a really good eye contact. I feel like he's talking to me personally, you know? He kept looking at me and opening his eyes. Yes, more. I glanced at the time device later on, 18 minutes. I signaled the green, the yellow, the red, everything. Never lose focus. You see, when we want to achieve something in life, and we chase it, some things might come along the way. Distractions, side projects. And it's okay to embark on a side project, but do not allow it to distract you from your main goal. How many of you have dreamt of something and halfway through, you forgot why you didn't continue? The reason you didn't continue is something came along the way, pulled you away from it, and you allowed it to. You allowed yourself to be distracted. Never lose focus. Another role, another score. Should I quit?
Keep trying.
Fine, I'll keep on trying. I called Suleiman at the meeting. I'm sorry about what happened. How about this? For the next meeting, be the grammarian. What does that do? Well, you watch the grammar throughout the meeting and you introduce the word of the day. So what is that? Well, every meeting you come up with a new word that people could actually learn. All right? A day later, I called him. I said, I got my word. I said, share it with me. Bosco Dictioso. He goes, what does it mean? It's a type of dinosaur. How the hell would people use that? I don't know. I like Bosco Dictioso. Why did you choose it? Well, you know, it's cool and the M is silent. So. He said, no, you need to pick a word that people could actually use. I got it. No, tell me what it is. No. You'll see in the meeting. So the next meeting comes. Toastmasters Day asked me to introduce the word of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, my word for today is... The I means, I. Some useful usage of the word. I am hungry. I am sleepy. I am angry. I encourage you all to use the word of the day. By the end of the meeting, I came up to give my report. I'm happy to report that everybody used it. Even the janitor who walked in and said, oh, I'm sorry. Everything in moderation. Never too hard, never too easy. How many of you have heard of people who wants to lose weight and they go to the gym and they run on the treadmill for like 10 minutes? Like, woo! Feel happy now. I did something. It's just 10 minutes. On the contrary, I had a friend of mine who wanted to lose weight and he was following this strict diet where he can only eat 1 apple a day. 2 weeks later, he was rushed to the hospital. Why? Because he took it too hard on himself. Always find a way in the middle. Never too hard, never too easy. Another meeting, another school.
Keep trying.
Now keep on trying. I called Suleiman after the meeting. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. All right, listen. For the next meeting, your role is the vote counter.
Oh.
Your job is to collect votes for best speaker, table topics, and evaluator. And at the end, you announce the names. That's it. That's it. You cannot screw this up. Don't worry, I will not screw it up. And guess what happened? I ended up screwing up. Let me tell you what happened. Well, we're sitting in the meeting. Speeches are done. They're casting the vote to me, collecting the vote, and I'm counting. Across the table from me is a lady, beautiful lady. She looked at me and smiled. Oh wow. I guess she wants to really win the vote, huh? Throughout the meeting, every time she looked at me, she smiled again. One vote from me will not hurt. Every now and then, another smile. Oh my God. One more vote will not hurt. By the end of the meeting, she won all the votes. Toastmaster today asked me to announce the winners. And I said, I'm happy to announce that the best speaker is... is Jane. And the Toastmaster today said, Jane didn't even give a speech today. Find out what is your weakness. My weakness was a woman's smile. But find out what is your weakness. Because once you know what is your weakness, it's easy for you to ask for help. And we all have weaknesses. Nobody is perfect. And your first step to success is admitting what is your weakness. And then seeking those who can help you to overcome these weaknesses. Another meeting. Another screw up.
Trying.
Fine, I'll keep on trying. I called Suleiman after the meeting. He changed his number. I tracked him down and I said, Suleiman, come on, just give me one last chance. He said, I don't know, maybe Toastmaster isn't for you. Have you thought about fishing? Or like a chess club? I said, come on, just give me one more chance. He said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I think I'm ready to give my first speech. Really? Come on, I want to give my icebreaker. I said, all right, fine. So I wrote the speech, and I tried to inject humor in it. And I stood up in front of the audience, and I gave my icebreaker. They laughed. I won the best speaker that day. In the meeting after, I gave my second speech, filled with humor. They laughed. I won the best speaker again. And I noticed that my strength is humor. We talked about finding your weakness and overcoming it. Also on the same journey, find out your strength. What is the one thing that you can do that nobody else in this world can do like you? And each one of you here has that strength. There is something that only you can do better than anybody else. If you don't know what that is, ask those around you. What is special about me? What is the one thing that I can do better than anybody? And you might be surprised by the answer. That year, 2010, after one of the meetings, my club president came up to me and he said, Mohammed, we love your speeches in the club. Have you ever thought of doing this speech contest? I said, what that? I mean, like, I don't know what he's talking about. He said, well, every year there's a speech contest. International, humorous, evaluation, topics, and it goes from club, area, division, districts, and hopefully maybe one day the world championships. Well, let's just start easy. Let me do it. So I entered the humorous speech contest. I wrote a speech. I did the club level. Boom! I won. Area level. Boom! I won. Division level. I got second place. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit of a sore loser, you know. That day, I'm sitting at the back of the hall with my second place trophy. Just hating myself. And he came up to me and he said, Muhammad, you did a fantastic job. Everybody loved your speech. Yeah, just go ahead. He said, what's wrong? I said, well, I got second place. So? Second place, look at this. I mean, look how tight this is. I can't put this in my desk. It's embarrassing. And he said something to me I would never forget. He said, if what you're looking for is a piece of glass, I'll take you now and I'll buy you the biggest one. I'll buy you the biggest trophy you want. Is that what you're after? Just a piece of glass? Because we might be chasing something in life. Trophy, title, a position, a higher pay, which is fine. But it shouldn't be your main goal. It shouldn't be the thing that you chase. It should be what you will do once you get there. Because whatever you achieve in life is just a key that opens the door for you to achieve something more. So he said to me, what is your target, Mohammed? Why are you speaking? Why are you writing and rehearsing and coming on stage and sometimes making a mistake and screwing up? Why are you doing it? I said, well, you know, it's fun. He said, if it's just fun, it will hurt when you lose. You want something more. What is it? What is your target? I said, I don't know. He said, what is your target? If you don't have a target in life, it's easy for you to quit. Last year I was speaking at a college graduation. The audience is filled with fresh new engineers. And I asked him, what do you want to be in 5 or 10 years from now? And the first one stood up and he said, well, I would like to be a successful engineer. All right, how about you, sir? I would like to be a successful engineer. What about you, ma'am? I would like to be a successful engineer. What does successful engineer even mean? How do you know that you got there? There is no measure. And if you don't have a measure, as I said, easy for you to quit halfway through. So he said to me, Muhammad, what is your target? I thought about it for a minute and I said, well, I want to speak to 1,000 people. If I get a chance to deliver a talk to 1,000 people, for me that was success is. He smiled. And he said, well, if that's really your target, one day, I don't know when, but one day, you'll make it to the international finals and you'll speak in front of thousands. And he gave me a piece of paper and he said, write your acceptance speech. I said, for what? Write the acceptance speech that you're gonna say when you win the World Championship of Public Speaking. He's so crazy. I said, no, write it. Because once you write it, you'll believe in it. And once you believe in it, God and the universe will make it happen. You see, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we say, one day I will get there. When you say that, you believe in yourself first. And everything around you will push you through. But if you say to yourself, well, I'm just going to try. Try isn't enough. Try is you giving yourself an excuse to give up when things get a bit tough. So I took that piece of paper and I wrote an acceptance speech. That was back in 2010. And I kept that speech in my pocket. The year after, I was doing my advanced communicator bronze. And I was doing a manual called the entertaining speaker. How many of you have done that manual before? Only one person? So in that manual, you have to give advanced speeches. And one of them is called the dramatic talk. And a dramatic talk is you give the audience a dramatic talk. So I prepared my dramatic talk and I stood in front of the audience and I started speaking. And it's supposed to be a dramatic topic. But once I was talking, people were laughing. At lines that were not even funny. They kept on going and they kept on laughing. This is strange. It's supposed to be a dramatic talk. And after the meeting, I went to the club president and I said, why were people laughing? And he said, well, because, you're funny. You tell jokes. I said, yeah, but that's not funny speech. But yeah, we know that you're funny. And I realized I just became a clown. I'm just there to just make people laugh. Don't get me wrong, I love when people laugh. But it shouldn't be the only thing that you are known for. Break the stereotype. Even if it's a good one. You shouldn't be known for just one thing. You should be a surprise to people. You should be a person that people say, oh, I didn't know that he or she, I didn't know that they had it in them. Be talented in more than one thing. Don't get stereotyped for just one thing, even if it's a good or bad, but don't get stuck to one stereotype. And let me tell you something. After that meeting, I hated myself. I hated Toastmasters because I just became a clown. And I really, really wanted it. What do you guys think?
Keep trying.
And that's why I decided to enter the international speech course. Because yes, I love to do humor, but I also want to be taken seriously. I want to show the world that I have both talents. 2013, I became the club president. Why? Because nobody was running. And I was pushed to do it. And ever since I became the president of the club, I noticed that people stopped coming to the meeting. I don't know if it was because of me. And a meeting after a meeting, we're struggling in terms of attendance. I called the area director, the division director. I said, "Look, this club is dying. I cannot keep it up." They said, "Come on, just give it one more chance." I said, "I tried." They said, "Okay, just try a little bit longer. And if you really believe there is no way that you can keep the club alive, we'll close it." And in one meeting, still remember, there were only 3 of us in the room. I was the Toastmaster of the day. I gave a speech and evaluated myself. And after the meeting was done, I looked at that empty hall and I hated myself and I hated Toastmasters because I failed as a leader. I'm supposed to keep this club alive and now it's dying in my own hands. And it showed me what a failure I was. So I went back to my office and I started writing an email to my area director and the division director. Dear Mr. Area Director and Division Director, my name is Mohammed Alqahtani. I'm the president of North Park Toastmasters Club. You guys know that I've been struggling with this club for a while. I tried everything, nothing works. Therefore, I would like to close the club, and I also want to end my membership in Toastmasters. I don't want to do this anymore. I wrote the email, grabbed my mouse to hit send, my phone rings. I pick up the phone. A friend of mine, her name is Maha. She was one of the 3 people in that meeting. And she said, "Mohammed, whatever you're about to do, please don't do it." Where are you? She said, I had a feeling you're about to do something. Whatever it is, please don't do it. I said, you saw the meeting today. 3 people. 3. There is no hope in this club anymore. Why should I even bother? She said, "Mohammed, do you think this is the worst that could happen to this club?" I said, "Well, I don't see going any worse than that." She said, "So this is the worst that could happen?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, guess what? When you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. If you think this is the worst level, then it's gonna be up from there. Because we cannot go any worse. So we can only get better. Please, don't do it." I removed the email and I started calling people, begging them to attend. "Come on, we miss you, come on." The next meeting we had 8 people. Meeting after we got 12, 20, 30, and so on. The club grew so large that we had to split it into 2. From that club, 3 of the division directors came from that club. 6 district champions came from that club.
Oh.
And, 1 world champion came from that club. However, I didn't do it. It was who came after me. But I always ask myself, what could have happened if I sent that email? What could have happened if I didn't receive that phone call? I probably wouldn't be standing here today speaking to you. 2014, I wanted to do the international speech contest and I wanted to do it well. So I went online and I started watching all the world champions before. Darren LaCroix and Jim Key and Nance Miller and so on, and learning from each one of them. And I started writing the speech. And by the way, when I was done with it, it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever done in my life. I cannot believe I just wrote that speech. Oh my God. Oh my God. The speech was so beautiful. It was my masterpiece. And I thought to myself, this will take me all the way to the top. I cannot wait to share this message with people. I entered the contest. Club level, boom. A level, boom. Division level, I got 2nd place again.
Oh.
And that loss hurt. Not because I wanted the piece of glass. Because that was my best work. And I remember sitting in front of the hall, and again with my 2nd place trophy. And I was about to actually break up. And a friend of mine came up to me and he said, "You did a fantastic job." And I said, "Nashid, that was my best work. My best is still not good enough. If my best is not good enough, then what the hell am I doing? Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Maybe this is a sign for me to quit." He said, "Do you believe this is your best work?" I said, "I cannot do better than this." He said, "Mohammed, the problem is this. When you believe that you hit your best, that's when you stop trying. That's when you stop living. Always tell yourself, my best is yet to come." Tell yourself that. My best is yet to come. You might do something extraordinary. Something you're so proud of it. But always tell yourself, I can do better. I don't know when, but I can do better. A lot of people come up to me and said, "We love the power of words. It's an amazing speech." And I said, "Well, wait. I got something better cooking." I don't know when, but I got something better. Because if you tell yourself this is my best, that's it for you. You stop trying. What do you guys think I should do now?
Keep trying.
2015. I wrote a speech and I started to do the contest again. Club, boom. Area, boom. Division, boom, for the first time.
Whoa.
And now I'm in the district for the first time. And I do the district and I get second place. But I was happy with myself. The 2nd best speaker in all of Saudi Arabia. That's a good achievement, you know. The finals were supposed to be taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 weeks before the finals, I received a phone call from this guy. His name is Abdullah Al-Jaruf. He's our district champion 2015. He called me and said, "Mohammed, do you have a visa to the United States?" "Yeah." "Well, here's the thing. My dad is a bit sick these days. And since I'm the oldest son, I kind of need to be by his side. So I'm going to drop. You take my place." 2 weeks before the finals. I need to come up with 2 speeches. and rehearse. There's no way I can do this. I'm not ready. So I said to him, well, can you give me some time to think about it? He said, you only have 24 hours because we need to inform TI of the change or whatever. All right, fine. Happened that on the same day is my club meeting. I go to the club and I'm sitting in the back and I'm just thinking about that phone call. At the end of the club meeting, my club president, her name is Pat, and she came up to me. She said, Mohammed, are you okay? You seem kind of out of place. So I told her about the phone call, and I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna drop my name too, because I don't want to go there and make a fool of myself. Now I don't think I'm ready. She said, Mohammed, some chances will come only once in your life. And if you don't grab it, who knows? Maybe this chance would never come back again. And this will happen to you too, ladies and gentlemen. Some chances will come your way only once. And you might not think to yourself, or like you might think to yourself, I'm not ready. I cannot do this now. But guess what? Say yes. Figure out a way to do it later, but say yes. Never let it go. Because who knows? It might not even come back again. She said to me, say yes, we'll help you. So I said yes. And for 2 whole weeks, I'm just rehearsing every single day. 2 speeches. I rehearsed so much, I hated both. The time comes and we fly to Las Vegas. They put me in semifinals group number 3. I go in there with no expectations at all. I do my speech and boom, I win. And now I'm in the finals. Oh my God, the finals. I can't believe I made it this far. And sometimes, when you get closer to that title, or trophy, or piece of glass, you might forget your purpose or the reason why you're there. I thought to myself, I can smell it now. It's so close. The day of the final comes. They do a draw to determine the speaking sequence. I was the last speaker, which is good and bad at the same time. I'm sitting in the back of the stage, all of us 10, they brought us in this room, and we're sitting around this round table, and we're all saying to each other, I really wish you good luck. And there was a big flat screen TV, so you can see whoever is on stage. The first speaker comes in, he takes the stage, and oh my God, he was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Every move was calculated, the tone of voice, the words, everything was perfect. And I'm looking at him thinking, okay, maybe I'll get second place. The second speaker comes in and he does even better. Okay. Third place. And every speaker comes in as everybody is better than the one before. That's when I taught myself, look, there is no way you can win this. So just remember why you were here. You have a message that you believe in. Give that message and leave. You're not gonna win. My turn comes, standing at the back of the stage. There was a lady who would open the curtain for you. And while I'm standing there, I asked her, how many people in the audience today? She said 3,500 people. How many of you have seen my speech before? How many of you have seen my speech? Go on YouTube again and look it up. And see what happens when I walk in, onto the stage. I walked in there and a big smile came on my face. Because my target was to speak to 1,000 people. Now I got 3,500. My dream is already true. If I win, fine. If I don't, I honestly don't care. I started speaking, I gave it my best. I loved the audience loved me, but still in my mind, I'm not gonna win. But I was happy with my performance. We're seated as contestants, we're seated in the front row. They start announcing the winners. And all of them were like, I'm the only one who I'm playing a game on my mobile. 3rd place, 2nd place, and now the world champion public speaker in 2015, Mohammed Alqahtani. To be honest with you, I didn't even hear my name. I was busy. Until the guy behind me punched me in my back. Dude, go! Where? It's you! Huh? It's you! Okay! And I get on that stage like a crazy person. And they gave me that trophy. That giant piece of glass.
Oh.
And they said to me, would you like to say a few words? And I remember the acceptance speech that I wrote 5 years ago. And I stood in that podium and I said that same exact acceptance speech. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up with a stutter, and I still stutter to this day. If you ask anybody who knows me, this is the definition of what's impossible. A person who struggled with speaking can become the best speaker in the world. I don't say it as a brag, I'm just saying to you guys, impossible simply doesn't exist. So just look back into your goals and dreams. These goals and dreams that people told you it's impossible. And tell yourself, if this guy can do this, then you can do anything that you put your mind into. I took that trophy, and as soon as I stepped off the stage, 5 TV cameras and newspapers, and everybody is waiting there to have an interview with me. And it took me by surprise, because usually when you become famous, it comes gradually. In my case, I turned overnight from a nobody to a person the whole world knows.
Yeah.
And each one of them was asking me the same question. Mr. Alqahtani, what's next? I don't know. Really, I don't know. I never thought this through. So I don't know what's next. I don't have a plan. They walked me into this hall. And when I entered the hall, there was a banner. And I stood next to the world champions. People that I used to watch and admire and learn from. Now they're just, colleagues. And I do remember Mr. Darryl LaCroix leaned in and he said, congratulations. Thank you. So what's next for you? I don't know. But you know what? Now I reached the top. And they always say it's better to quit when you are at the top. So maybe, this is the time to quit. Well, I do hear you, but I don't have a plan. And I don't know if I can do better than this. So maybe I should just quit. But before I quit, let me just enjoy the moment. They brought in a table. And they put my trophy on it and a stack of papers. And in front of me there is a line. 3,000 people, everybody who are on stage, everybody's lined up just to have a picture with me. Or have me sign an autograph. And I started thinking about the fame, the money, the ladies, and I forgot why I'm here. And it's easy for you to forget once you get to whatever you want. And throughout that line, a lady came in. She came in with tears in her eyes. Tears. And she stood in front of me and she grabbed my hand. And she said, son, I don't want a photo. I don't want an autograph. I stood in this line for a whole hour just to tell you this. Whatever you said up there will make me a better person. I'll be a better person just because of something that you said. I just wanted to come here and say thank you. And she left. And to be honest with you, at that moment, the trophy meant nothing. The title meant nothing. All of it meant nothing. Now I know what's next. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want is in 5 or 10 or 20 years from now, I want to be home, watching TV, flipping through the channels. And while I'm flipping through the channels, I see an interview. An interview with a successful person, an influential person, a person who made a change in their lives and the life of others. Hopefully this person is one of you. And they would ask that person, how did you become the person that you are? What was the start? And when I hear that person say, well, years and years ago, I listened to a guy, his name is Mohammed something. And he changed my life. One person. Let me ask you this question. Is this person here today? Is this person here today?
Yes.
Well, just to make sure. I'm going to take a photo with you guys. And whoever you are, once you make it, look me up. Find me online. Find this photo. And say thank you. I ask you again. I ask you again, why did you join Toastmasters? You know, how many of you here are DTMs? If you're a DTM, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what DTM means?
Don't talk much.
Distinguished Toastmasters. It means you've done everything in the communication track. You've done everything in the leadership track. You've done it all. You've done it. Go home. Go home. Why are you still here? I'll tell you why you're still here. Because those are the people who never thinks what's in it for me, but rather think what's in it for us. A lot of people come to me and say, Mr. Alqahtani, you're an inspiration to every Toastmaster. I said, really? All I did was just give a 5-minute speech and 12 judges kind of decided it's the best one that year. I did nothing. If you're looking for a hero to follow, if you're looking for an example in life, don't look for the person on stage. Look for those standing up here. Please give them a big round of applause. So I ask you again, why did you join Toastmasters? Some of you might have joined just to become a better speaker. You finish your competent communicator or your speech mastery pathway or whatever, and you get that certificate, and you hang it on your wall, and now you know the tricks and trades of speaking, and then you can leave. And that's okay. Some of you might have joined just to become better leaders. You finish your company leader or dynamic leadership. You get that piece of paper, you show it to your boss is impressed, then you leave. That's also okay. Some of you might have joined Toastmasters just to meet new people. In fact, some people even got married from Toastmasters. And once that happened, you can leave. And that's also okay. And some might have joined just to win a piece of glass or win a trophy. And you will someday hopefully get that piece of glass or trophy. And then you could leave. And that's also okay. But then there's a few heroes who get the most they can get out of Toastmasters, but they still stick around, just in service of others. I really admire you guys for doing something that I wish one day I could do. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, one day you will die. One day you will leave this earth. Ask yourself this question, did I leave it a better place just because I was in it? If you didn't, I'm sorry. Your life is a waste. When that day comes and you leave this planet, there might be 3 types of responses. People might say, oh, thank God he's gone. Or they might say, yeah. Or they might say, oh no. Are you gonna get an oh no? I really hope that you do. Thank you so much for listening.